That's not at all what I thought it was gonna turn out. This looks stucco. Hey guys, this is our dated fireplace, and today it's gonna get a much needed makeover. Let's get started. The reality is the stone is the most dated part of this fireplace. We could spruce it up with new tile and put a nicer mantle, but we're gonna be very extra about this today. Let's get us a blank canvas. It is amazing how much you learn how stuff is made when you demo something. I'm very impressed how this mantle was made by very skilled finished carpenters. That's a lot of brad nails, a lot. It can't always go super smooth. I got excited with the large format tile, and then this is of course mesh lining, and that sucker's gonna be on so strong that we're gonna have quite a bit of drywall to repair. That was a relatively quick demo. I think I got that knocked out in about 30 minutes. I am gonna have to fix some of these drywall parts, put a new piece in here. This has to be a flawless sheet, so a lot of cleaning up, a lot of patching up, and then we'll be ready to rumble. So this doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, I'm really excited. I have a scrap piece of, well, not the best scrap, piece of drywall. Hopefully it'll be enough. I have a good feeling about it. Start screwing in all the studs using my screw gun, drywall drywall nails, patch them all up and start floating the sucker so it's all even. So when it comes to mudding and all that stuff, there's a few steps you have to kind of follow to make sure you have a better float. So use your taping knife, which is a 4-inch knife, and you spread it all out. After that dries, we're gonna use the 6-inch knife. And then after the 6-inch knife, we'll do the 10-inch knife and then the 12, and that'll give us the best blend that we can get. Man, I'm already counting my lucky stars here. That was the perfect amount of drywall tape that was meant to do this job. It's looking great. I gotta let it dry, then we'll go through 6-inch trowel, 10-inch trowel, 12-4. Better use of our time while this is drying. Let's go start working on the mantle. Not gonna use a full heavy-duty beam because I don't have access to one. I'm gonna make one out of miter joints, kind of like a floating shelf, but way thicker, like 8 inches thick. Gonna break it down with the miter saw, and all the rest of the miters will be done on the table saw. No matter how many times I do this method, I'm always super nervous, and I'm pleasantly surprised I didn't screw anything up. Wood glue, brad nails, clamp it in place, and that should dry overnight, and then we'll be ready like putty and sand and make it all. You know, all in all, the seams came out pretty dang good. And the ones that are a little off, like a 16th, whatever, a little wood filler is gonna clean it up just nicely. And everybody will be proud of you, and your kids will respect you, and you'll be the talk of the town. Hang in there. Hey, real quick, I want to thank Foreo Suite for partnering us on this video. As you guys know, as I'm getting older, I take my health very seriously between cold plunges and saunas, intermittent fasting, and a lot of other things to make sure I look and feel better. And that's where Foreo comes in. They're a visionary company that's shaken up the wellness world. Foreo has a wide range of innovative, professional-like devices for home use, such as the Bare microcurrent device that gives you a mini facelift. And based off all these projects and my kids, my face needs to be lifted. When it comes to my facial routine, it's almost non-existent. I just recently started even washing my face. The most extreme things I've done is exfoliating my face like once a week and maybe putting a little bit of lotion on it. And then I discovered Bare by Foreo. Microcurrent technology is a low voltage electrical current that offers a natural, non-invasive, and instant facelift. It helps to contour and lift the skin and facial muscle. It's the world's first FDA-cleared medical microcurrent device with an anti-shock system that visibly improves signs of aging by gently energizing and firming 69 muscles in the face and neck. 98% of users report skin looks healthier and brighter and feels more energized in just 1 week. If you have trouble shopping for gifts, Bare by Foreo is a great place to start, whether it's for a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a partner, a sister, whoever it is. It's perfect for everybody. Now let's go back to finishing this fireplace. All right, the float came out good. I actually was able to skip a bunch of steps just because this whole entire thing would be covered, but everything looks good. In the meantime, let's go work on the mantle. I'll go right here. All right, so I took it out of clamps over the weekend, filled in any of the wood filler stuff. I still have a few more sections to hit up, but all in all, these miters patched up or were tight enough to actually make it look good. So final sand, and then we'll start installing. Well then, no, we still gotta stain it. Duh. So for stain, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Irina always likes fruit wood, but on this special occasion, she wants me to go dark, walnut, semi-transparent, which is so not like her, but she's like, my style's evolving. Let's do this, let's not get yelled. So this sucker is dry. Here's how we're gonna install it. We're gonna use this 2x6 and we're gonna secure it to the studs, and then the mantle will slide right over it, to which at that part, we're gonna secure it with screws down and it won't go anywhere. All right, that's not going anywhere. Let's go get our mantle. Please work well. Oh, I didn't even have to wrestle with anything. Ooh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Funny bone, not so funny. Okay, next step. Before we start putting the plaster fake concrete on the wall, we need to prime it so it has the best grip that it can. At least that's what the instructions say. So I'm gonna start rolling a coat or two, let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow we could start putting on the plaster and see how that goes. All right, so for the primer, we got the primer with the plaster from the same company. It's a company called Firmolox, and their directions say that you have to use an anchor primer that's gonna have a strong adhesion for the plaster when it goes on. So we're gonna roll this on, let it dry overnight, and then we'll be able to start applying the plaster itself. The wall is dry with the primer overnight. We have our plaster, our Venetian plaster here. Irina ordered this, and apparently they can have like a color match or a color selection. So as you can see, there's a little preview. It's like a lighter gray with a hint of like a cream color in there. Let's open the sucker up. Okay, hopefully that'll be enough. So the instructions on the website, they say that use a hawk and trowel. And what you want to do is you apply it with your trowel onto the wall at a 15-degree angle, and then you can raise it to about a higher 30-degree angle. And essentially, you're smearing this thing on there. It's going to be a two-step process. It's going to be 2 different coats in 2 different days, just to make sure we have a nice even coat. So it's my first time doing this. Let's see how it comes out. You know, it's applying really easy. It's kind of impressive. And you don't really have to make it extra smooth because concrete is not perfectly smooth. But I will knock all these little ones down, get the next coat a lot cooler and smoother. But all in all, kind of nice. All right, the first coat is done. It needs to dry overnight for the second coat to cover everything up, and then we'll do the, I think it's called the burnish coat. But in the meantime, not to waste any time, let's go start working on the mold, the concrete mold for this hearth. Two things about the hearth. Number one, it has to be concrete based so it can match everything. That's number one. Number two, it can't be too thick. Therefore, we're going with a different product that I've never used ever, and I'm excited to try, and I'm a little bit nervous. It's called GFRC, glass fiber reinforced concrete. You're able to have the concrete look while being a lot stronger, and you can pour it a lot thinner. I got some instructions, I got some products delivered. First thing I do is start building the mold. I messed up. Because these notches here, and this is radiused out, that's what the hearth is right now. There's a radius, it's not straight. I miscalculated cutting this thing by an extra 5 inches. So fortunately I have another piece left over. I'll cut that and then we'll start measuring this again. I gotta cut out this section because the notches go, it's like a wraparound hearth. That's exactly what's there right now, so I have to cover it. And then got my radius traced out. Fingers crossed, there's not gonna be too much tear out because this is gonna be, the bottom's gonna be the pretty side. So once the mold comes out, voila, that's what you're working with. Fingers crossed there's no tear outs. All right, let's boogie. Woo! We did it. Oh man, no tear outs, no tears. All right, let's go. All right, I measured out. The pour is gonna be 1.25 inches. That's how thick the slab is gonna be. I pre-drilled my pilot holes because with particle board and you're putting screws in, it just has a tendency of things going sour. All right, the last hurdle that we need to overcome, we're not out of the woods yet, is getting this arch in without the particle board snapping. And that's very likely to happen when working with particle board and trying to bend it. It's just the territory that we signed up for. Oh, Bubba, we got a crack here. Fortunately, it's on this side. It's halfway through, nothing on this side. What are we thinking? Let's re-secure it here and then hopefully it doesn't go further. Okay, so in order to prepare the mold, I learned this trick from my buddy Mike from Industrial Maker. If you haven't seen him, he's the king of these GFRC pourers. Go check his channel out. But what he does is he first puts on a paste wax on below here. And the reason why is for the second step, when we bevel the corners here and then use a little fondant tool to create the bevel, the separation of the fondant tool of the silicone will make it easier. This stuff will make it easier to come off. So we'll have a perfect edge bevel. So the first coat of plaster is fully cured and fully dry. Now we're gonna do the second coat. In the second coat, we're gonna have to get a little bit of artistic because this is a uniform color. It is gray, which is cool, and it's a concrete texture, that's great, but it doesn't look like, it doesn't have all the imperfections of concrete, so we're gonna change that. So to brighten it up a little bit or to create these imperfections, we're gonna use a little bit of a white paint and mix it into this batch and kind of create these swirl marks. Boy, I hope I don't overdo it. Let's do a little bit at a time and see how far that gets us. And because it's gonna dry even lighter, I want to go a little bit more aggressive with the tinting here. All right, that's the one. That's enough contrast for it. Okay, so now the idea is just gonna try to basically blotch it up with swivel marks. To be honest with you, I don't know how this is gonna turn out because there's two different layers, it almost looks like stucco. Fingers crossed, and I'm not feeling that happy right now. So it's the next day, and happy to report that I done messed up. So the problem here is my biggest fear came true. It looks like stucco. It's textured, which is cool if you're into that, but it literally looks like stucco. So fortunately, the missus does not hate it. She actually didn't think it looked like stucco until I told her that I feel like it looks like stucco, and then she was like, actually now it does look like stucco. So we're not in terrible trouble. So what I'm gonna do is do a third coat, a smooth coat, not focus on it completely smooth, but it'll blend in the top layer and the bottom layer, and it'll give us a cleaner slate. So we've been here before, we've made mistakes before, now we're gonna learn how to fix them. Okay, it's the next day. We're now can peel off the separated edges of the silicone. And because we had paste wax, that part should come off easy. And the part that's left over in there, that's gonna create our bevel, making the edges not so sharp. Okay, so I got my product. You can't just walk into a hardware store and buy all this stuff. It's a specialty product. So I got connected with Fishstone Concrete. I'll link them in the description below. Tom from Illinois is a fantastic guy. Gave me all my instructions, all my mixtures, got my HP50 concrete mix. I have my hardener, and I have the fiberglass that I need. Now I just gotta make sure to follow his instructions, and I'm excited to see how this thing comes out. This is nothing like anything I've ever worked with. I got to the point, because I was like mixing kind of like concrete, I was like, it definitely needs a lot more water, it's too dry. And then all of a sudden there's like a chemical reaction where it started turning into like goo. And Tom said, you gotta get it to about a milkshake consistency. And I added a little bit of this Optimum 380, so supposedly it's supposed to soften it up. But my gosh, this is so wild. At this point, I was told to only pour 1/8 of an inch. That'll be our face coat. Supposed to be self-leveling too. Okay, next, we're supposed to aggressively work it. Look at this. It's like coarse below, but creamy on top. Okay, that should do it. It's supposed to stiffen up here in the next couple of minutes. And once it does, we can start pouring our top coat, or the backer, I guess that's what it's called. Okay, looks like it's already setting. The instructions say now I can start mixing the backer coat. All right, next we're gonna add our glass fiber reinforcements, give it a mix, and then pour it all out. Okay, this is key. Tom said that to prevent any kind of line division from our face coat and our backer, we have to aggressively manipulate it so we can mix it. And he said that should do the trick. I'm only doing this on the front face because that's the face you will see. And a 1/4 inch on top, which is probably like a half a bag. I think we should be good. That was 2.5 bags of GFRC mix. Everything's leveled. It's kind of wild how it's leveling itself. They included this fiber backer, which the directions say nothing about it, but I'm assuming I could just lay it down because it's the backside and making sure it's enough of a gap away from the edge, and that should kind of hold everything, like maybe an added piece of support. Okay, nobody cried, nobody got hurt. Now let's let it sit for 4 days. Let it sit over the weekend, and we'll see how she turns out. All right, it's been curing over the weekend. I'm equally excited and nervous. That's the topic of discussion, like has always been. Let's pop it off and see how we did. I could already feel that paste wax was a clutch call just because the molds are coming out flawlessly. Just breaking down any of these sharp burr edges so I don't have to do it later. Might as well do it if I have the access to it right now. Now we just gotta flip this thing.
Is it really heavy?
Not too, I think it's maybe like 200 pounds. So we're gonna
Only 200 pounds? Yeah. Good thing I did arms yesterday. Does this remind you of that one time you broke a piece of concrete?
Yeah, actually I have some
good time.
PTSD about it.
PTSD, okay.
All right. Make sure nothing dings. Came out good, huh?
Yeah, it's like really smooth.
It matches.
It matches
like,
really well. I also
subtle.
actually really like the subtle tones between those two.
Oh man, I'm so happy this turned out.
Don't say I never help you.
Nice job. All right, I just got done doing all the finishing touches, example A, and I really just styled it. So let me show you guys the big reveal. Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching another video. Here's a playlist that I think you might enjoy. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you guys on the next one. See ya. Bye.